What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group, brought to you by alphacliniconline.com. Make sure I'm telling y'all the right website. I'll be saying that. We got a new website, so Alpha Clinic Online. Did I spell a no, not Aloha Clinic. Fat thumbs don't help. Yeah, I did it right. alphacliniconline.com. It's the go-to website for all things performance enhancement. Getting older, a lot of people are like it. Also, a lot of people are really getting into this Ozempic, semaglutide, all these different things, man. And you're making decisions, and you really don't know what the fuck you're doing. And your doctors are just prescribing it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, but they're not telling you like the benefits, the side effects, and a lot of the stuff for it. Hell, Oprah just did something where they did a whole little town hall meeting on it. But check out go to Alpha Male Jacks on IG, Alpha Clinic Online. Check that out. Get some information about it. It might not be for you, but if you're pre-diabetic or you need to lose some weight, there may be some things that you can do so that you get educated on it. If nothing else, go get your blood work done. Check your hormone levels. See where you're at. Got a little bitching. Got a little too the estrogen levels a little high, a little elevated, testosterone a little low. You've been noticing that you're bitching about things that's happening to your favorite team, and your voice is a little more high pitched. You wouldn't normally have that bitch in you. So let's get that bitch about you. And if you're a woman, like this isn't, I feel like I got to be like the rappers in the '80s. When I say that word, it's not necessarily referring to you. It's it could be you. Like one of my favorite songs, "Trust No Bitch." It's a great song in the early '90s. And he says females ain't the only bitches that I'm referring to. So I just want you to understand. I call men that a lot more than I've ever said that to a woman. So, I want everybody to feel their best and be proper. We're back home. I'm not on the road. We're inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. Yes. These animals were if you're PETA, fuck you. These animals were delicious. They were taken care of. Yes, that's a rock that's on the wall. Yes, those are you can't see them. There's animals. There's animals on top of those things. Great taxidermists. I didn't shoot them. My business partner did, but we like that shit. It's Goodfellas is like Cheers with a little mob twist. Everybody knows your name. You can't get fucked up. You can't have a great time though. There's always security here, even when it doesn't look like there's security here. So it's a great place. Live music typically Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All kinds of different things for you to be able to get into. If you have a missus, this is where you want to go. She'll give you the kisses. Shout out. I didn't have the things up. Shout out to Chris. What's up? Good morning with Sporadics. We'll be on tonight. Andre, who's the perfect candidate for that alpha male? I want actually, you know what? We're gonna start saying that. I want to know from your social medias, or if you ever got one, send us an alpha clinic. Like you can tag me. Some of y'all used to do that too. Tag me on this shit. I want to know who's the bitch, like who's got that too much bitch in their life. And we need to get that bitch up out of them. Let's tag that and expose people for what they really are. Hell, it could be me. Sometimes you be like, hey, Jan, you acting like your estrogen levels are elevated, testosterone levels a little low. Have you gone over there and got checked? So, but yeah, you talking about if you from GA, if you talking about if wait a minute, it's two people. If you're talking about one guy, I'm not trying to get I don't want no smoke, man. You're not finna have me in the spaces. But if you're talking about Cameron Newton, we're gonna talk about Cam because Cam definitely did a little alpha, little estrogen level elevated on his ass. Like we gotta talk about. We want to talk about him on Saturday's show, but Saturday's show was just so much fun. We got deterred, derailed, all kinds of shit. But again, it was great. Shout out to my guy RJ Saunders. Yo, RJ, you'll never believe what I told Mia. I told Mia and them, I see them numbers is dipping a little bit over there on the mother station. Like old men's testosterone. It's a lot of old men over there. If they need me to come over there, add a little seasoning over there, I'll come over there, add a little seasoning over there if we talk about the numbers, if the numbers are right. I'm not opposed to going back to terrestrial radio. My whole goal would be to try to be so crazy that they'll fire me. or the number or the money would just be so good that would be great. But I could only do nighttime radio. Don't want to do no daytime shit. They'll be judging me and holding me down. On the road to riches and diamond rings. Real people do real things. We're on the road to trying to get to 10,000 subs on the year. Can't get to 10,000 before you get to 6,000. We need to get to 6,000 subs. We're at 5,455 right now. So if I do my math correctly, that means I need 445. Is that the number? 445 is what we need to be able to get to 6,000. We get to that 6,000 here on Den Media Group. We would do a giveaway live on this show, Big Games BS, where we would give $500 to a lucky listener on the YouTube. So all my Twitter followers, you we need you to oh shit. Damn it, Cal. Just donated a bottle of Pappy to the local children's charity for auction purposes, and they received the $3,500 for that bottle. It paid for the entire event, so everything auction was pure gain. That is great. But Kyle, MFTK, bro. MFTK, man. Give me that goddamn bottle, man. Fuck them kids in that charity, man. Now, all jokes aside, that was awesome, man. But like, if you're giving away stuff like that, please keep in mind we're going to start in April. We're going to start revamping for our my fifth. Is this fifth annual or sixth annual? I think it's the fifth annual. We've been doing this since 2020. Yeah, the fifth annual book bag drop. But that was dope, Kyle, man. I appreciate what you do, Kyle. That's awesome, man. Love people who give to those who don't. Oh well, shit. If you got four more, let me auction one of them for me at cost. I don't know if I got $3,500 to give for a damn Pappy bottle, but that shit's awesome. That's a good drink. Full disclosure, for those who don't know what Pappy is, and I don't know what year Pappy was it. If it was 20, then they may have still got a deal. Even if it was 10, Pappy 10 is still hard. Pappy's hard to come by. But about 2019, I believe it was 2019, I went to, or whenever Jay-Z dropped the 444 album, my boy was the head of security for Cleveland. Like most cities have a transportation. And basically, they do all these different things, urban planning. So like, they can plan the parade routes. They do all these different things. So he basically gets VIP access to everything. So I did a great sports weekend. I went up to Cleveland. I watched LeBron and them. LeBron was still with Cleveland. I watched them play the who did they play? I don't even remember who they played. That's when I almost got in a fight with Maverick Carter. Because Maverick asked me the dumbest question in my life. Because I was courtside, man, and I saw LeBron. So what would you do if you were courtside and you saw LeBron James? I'm not like the rest of you guys. I mean, I like my Jordans and I respect Jordan, but LeBron is the Jordan of our lifetime. I'm going to enjoy this iteration. So I took a picture of him. And Maverick looked at me like, did you just take a picture of LeBron? Like, bitch, of course I would take a picture. Okay, then it was 18 then. Damn, that's crazy. I'm getting really old. That's wild. Yeah, dang, that's crazy. Anyways, so I go up to Cleveland. I see the Cavs play. Then I go to the Jags game. Jags played Cleveland up that way at 1, and then we went back to the arena to see Jay-Z. I was like 3 rows away from the stage, and I was vibing with it. But before we went there, we went to some restaurant and they had Pappy. And I had never heard of Pappy until we got the ABC deal. And ABC sells Pappy for cost, but you have to auction it. They only get like a couple bottles. So I'm there and I say, let me get the, I'm telling somebody they should go buy. I was like, hey, and I told them my experience about having an opportunity to see a Prince concert. And I said, I'll go see him later. But Prince died. So now, like, if I want to see somebody, I'm going to go see him because that's, it's different than listening to the CD, no matter what anybody tells you. So I'm telling this person, and then like you only live once, and I'm like, I don't want to get $150 shot. Well, I'm in the liquor, I'm in the bar business. Regular liquor, we pour, right? You see them do the self pour, like the pour, heavy pour. They don't heavy pour Pappy. They put out a fucking measuring cup. And I got a special glass. The man put on gloves. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a whole fucking experience. So Pappy is one of those things where you don't share with friends, is what I'm telling you. Like if you come to my house and I got Pappy and I give you some Pappy, that means I like you. Kyle can come to my house and drink whatever the fuck he wants to. But like, you know, see, David, you get it. Like, you can't take the money with you, dog. You gotta go see the live shows. You know who I want to see? I want to see Future. Wait a minute. No, I'm going to. He's not going to be at Dreamville Fest. He definitely ain't going to be at Dreamville. I'm probably going to Dreamville here in a couple weeks, but we'll talk about that another time. But we were somewhere with we're trying to get to 6,000 subs. We need to get 6,000 subs. Then we need to get to 10,000. We get to 10,000 subs. We'll give away a pair of season tickets to FSU's this season's home games, along with a parking pass, all of those different things, man. Oh, nice. Damn, Kyle. Oh, I see where Kyle. Now it's starting to all make sense. Why Kyle has bread. Like, people wonder how I can get so many bottles of Blanton's, because we have a similar situation with our business where we have like we buy the most. So either your family is in the adult chicken wing establishment business, or y'all just slinging a lot of liquor. But kudos to you. April 20th is a spring game. I scared the internet yesterday. I said I wasn't going to make the spring game. Guys, that was me just tweeting. I was tweeting my thoughts. It might be one of the first two. Yeah. So April 20th is the spring game. We still have our tailgate. You still got a couple weeks. Not a couple weeks, couple days. What's that? 25th. So that means you have, including today, you have 7 days to be able to, because March is one of them 31s, right? I think my is a 31. So we got that. Get your tickets. They're $20 right now. Once they go past $20, once they go past March, they go up to 40. This is basically so that I can put kids, so I can help with the book bag drive, guys. That's where most of this proceeds go. And trying to think what else. Yeah. So I said I wasn't coming to the spring game, and the reason why is because I talk about everything. I don't really give a fuck if I talk. Somebody talk shit about one of my favorite players. They talk shit about my guy Bodie. A kid was supposed to be on my team. The kid actually plays on my son's football team in the fall. And that kid said that he didn't want to play for my team because it's not allegedly his dad said that because my quarterback sucks. Now we out here whooping ass like we used to, and we play that team on April 20th. So I wanted to be here to beat them by 40 because I want to make sure we run up the score. I believe in beating the fuck out of people because you can. I also believe in running up the score by any means necessary. It's not my job to boost the other kids' self-esteem. It's my job to boost my guy's self-esteem. So unfortunately, I will not be here to help with that. And like that's fucking aggravating to me though. Like I really want to like make that kid's life tough. And it's not because the kid's a decent kid. Kid's a decent kid. That being said, the kid didn't play for me. So, I got Trey. We probably gonna jam him. I'm gonna have Trey jam him off the line, and I'm gonna have Mason shadow him. They're gonna have to beat us with everybody else and not throwing to that kid. Kid's gonna have a long day. If that kid gets off on us with the strategy that I have, then God bless him. That kid deserved it. Old men start wars that young men have to fight. So his daddy did this to him. At least I think so, because they could have been lying. But that's why you got to watch what you say and stop letting these kids run their mouths. But anyways, I'll be at the spring game. I told them, fuck them kids. We'll get it back later. We have a championship game. We should be undefeated going into that so we can afford to take one L. We will be in the championship game. So that's all I'm concerned about. I hate these different sites on Twitter and stuff, and like people create these false images, but this thing says end wokeness, which I hate the fact that they took the word woke and just rebranded it, and just woke means anything I don't like. And this is one of the beautiful things about Florida, though. Florida man basically comes in, and this is an officer, and let's just play what the officer said. The officer's dope. I'm a big fan of Castle Doctrine, and he's basically, this is basically what he's saying about the state of Florida. And I want you guys to understand. We're gonna listen to this because some of y'all don't live here, and you don't understand our state. And some of you guys actually might think that what this police officer is telling you to do is 100% legal, but it's not. It's right. You have to do this, but it's not as easy as what he's saying.
As to the person, we don't know which homeowner shot at him. I guess they think that they did something wrong, which they did not. If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. So whoever that was, you're not in trouble. Come see us. We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save taxpayers money. As to the person.
Wow, that's funny. Absolutely hilarious. Gun safety classes typically don't teach you how to shoot. They just teach you what to do. And in the gun safety class at Green Acres in particular, that shit damn near makes you not want to own a gun. Just realize this. Can't shoot them while they're running, which means you can't shoot them in the back. They can't be fleeing. You have to allow them to flee. And it's not just your whole premises. It has to be like, they have to be in the act of breaking in. Leave one story is beneficial. You see what he's saying, you still come see us. It means you got to check yourself in, which isn't good. It's a lot of headache that you have to go through. So just don't go around. And if you think somebody's breaking in your house and they're police officers, there's plenty of documented things that show that you'll probably go to jail, if not be in a firefight. And that's not going to be fun or good at all. So just, but that is funny. It is one of the benefits of being in the state of Florida. I am a gun person. You know, Blonda, that sounds like somebody who's been to a gun safety class. Gun classes sets the record straight for people who like to shoot first and ask questions later. And I'm just like, hey, it makes 100% sense. I mean, I actually, but you're also, remember this, you are responsible for wherever that bullet goes. And so that's why I tell people I have a lot of ARs, I have a lot of AKs, I have a pistol AR, or AR pistol, excuse me, that I have to, never mind, I can't use anymore because I had the bump stock, all that other shit. But like, you know, it's not as simple as what people think. And Milton, Florida, yes, shout out to my guy George with the Renegade Report. That's his stomping grounds. Joe Surratt, Graham Gano, and right now the one of the top safeties in the class of 2026 is from Milton, Florida as well. We're trying to get him to that. I don't have a 406. Shit. Right now you got me curious. Don't tell me that kind of shit, because then if it's something that I'm not supposed to have, I'm going to want to have it. That's just the way that I'm. Ooh, that's ooh, that's one of them shits where I got to lay down and shoot.
I wish I could play the video.
Yeah, you can show us still. I think I would go look up and play a video, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to get demonetized. So like, but no, that's sexy right there. Black Widow? Might have to, yeah. Now you got me intrigued. That might have to be my next purchase after this Benelli, the automatic shotgun. That's really what I want. It's $2K for it, if I remember correctly. But anyways, while you're thinking about guns, go to Green Acres, check them out. Great sporting goods place. I love them to death. Next thing, just play this, the Instagram roll. This shit's hilarious. I love my again, this is we're here talking. If I love it when people don't know what I exactly think or what I view or who I worship and all that other stuff. But I'd tell you this: Christians are the most unintentionally hilarious people in the world, because some of the shit that they do is an accident and is pure. And the Christian University of Michigan, great. I'm assuming it's a great university. Um, and I believe in buying stuff to represent your college. So they just dropped some new merch, and I think you should buy. I'm going to probably purchase Christian University of Michigan Cardinals stuff, because you can tell these people haven't lived in the world that much, because this is what they're giving to their parishioners. They got tote bags, they got sweatshirts, they have hats, they have little mask, COVID mask. And if you could just start putting those things together, you'll start understanding why I think it's fucking hilarious. I don't even care if we hear her words. We can, but
merch drop. And by merch, I mean like sweaters, hats, tote bags, and stuff for the college students. The Christian University of Michigan.
And her mouth being open is amazing.
The Christian University of Michigan just had their merch drop. And by merch, I mean like sweaters, hats, tote bags, and stuff for the college students. The Christian University of Michigan.
All right. If you can't find the humor in that, I love it. It's just something I thought was hilarious. Speaking of that, the Duke University, incredibly academic school, incredibly intelligent. They're making fun of their football players are making fun of everybody trying to leave the conference right now. And this is what they had to say. And I leave it to you guys to Duke has never beaten Florida State ever. So but this is what their thoughts are. We're losing recipes. That's all I gotta say. It's like, I saw shout out to Kyle for the pew pew. I appreciate that, man. Check. I saw this thing on IG. Anybody who follows me on IG and is and gets the benefit of me sharing things, and this is why I always tell people, if your algorithm is showing you something, don't blame social media, blame yourself. It's perfect. It's the only thing in this world that actually studies you and wants to give you what you want. So my algorithm is wild. So it's a bunch of midgets, if you don't know, a bunch of midgets, a bunch of people kind of deformed doing funny shit.
Oh my gosh.
No, the one with the 3 fingers was crazy. I don't know if you ever saw. I think somebody, but it's so it's like this. So how my hand is right now, this is how it was. So the person went to like a dinosaurs thing and they saw like a T-Rex and it was like, oh my God, Dad, is that you? And then she put her hand over her face like this, and this shit was hilarious. But the guy said, when we were Americans, when we only had a couple milk options, we didn't have as many transmissions. He's like, did we start having, is there any uptick from when people started drinking almond milk and nut juice to the amount of people who are confused at what we used to have strong bones in men and women, and now all of a sudden we're here. This is the effects of drinking too much almond milk. Like, the kids are smart, they go to Duke, but like, that is not what I want my football team doing, all sashaying and dancing and stuff. This is what I expect that guy that's an Oklahoma fan that used to bash us all the time, said Florida State wasn't that good, the little sassy salamander. This is what I think I envision him waking up every morning, pretending to be like these Duke football players, man. So it explains so much. Like, I know why Duke can't beat us in anything. Like, I mean, in football. And then the dude, somebody says, I'm going to keep receipts from everybody sitting here for this football season. Keep receipts. Like, bitch, like, what are you going to, you talking about he said, when we beat you guys. Like, in what? In basketball? The SAT prep? Like, you ain't, like, I know you ain't talking about football. And just, right, Chris, high E, low T. You're not supposed to have low T that young. Like, but,
How is it cool? How did they group of popular?
Like, there's nobody, I can say this. We're losing rep. This is, I can't even blame not having the father in the house. My father wasn't in my house, and I wasn't doing this shit.
This is what the cool kids are doing. This right here.
Oh, man, you're right, though. Kyle put James, just imagine if the Seminole rap came out on TikTok today. It would go like the NIL era. Oh, they would kill it.
Y'all did like a Bears rap thing? Like
that's exactly what they did. It was around the same team. We are the Seminoles of Florida State. We know what we're doing. They were acting great. We some, and the band. Brother Johnson to the Marching Chief Band. Odell, like one of the coaches right now. Oh, Deion. I'm Deion Sanders. Prime time's the name. It's different though, because the 80s was the androgyny period. So Deion was acting sassy, but that's what they did back then. He had the Jerry curl juice popping and all that other shit. I'm Odell Higgins. He even had the white boys going in there talking. It was so late 80s and stereotypical that just it's hilarious to me. But like if they did that now, or even what Greg Olsen and the Miami guys did, the 7th Floor Crew. Have you ever heard of that song, Miles?
No.
Oh my God. Greg Olsen was in that thing spitting bars. And so the Seminole rap, which they made that and then got their asses whipped by Miami in the first game. Because we were supposed to, I think we started off the season #1 in the nation. And I think they lost 2 games that year. But it was crazy. 7th Floor Crew, they put, if your man only knew that she was getting mudded by the 7th Floor Crew.
Oh my God.
And Greg did what Mike did. It's crazy, man. I feel so bad for some white guys. Like people talk about, see, black guys, we can be black though. Nobody's asking Deion to apologize for the Seminole rap. Nobody's gonna ask me, but like when you become like when you're a young white guy on a football team, you got to have seasoning. You got to be hip hopped. Like Mike had the cornrows, right? So then one day you don't have the cornrows no more, and now you have to be a professional, and you've transitioned from Bubba Sparks to Harvey Specter or some shit like that, and they're trying to judge you for that. You have to go like Greg apologized for the 7th Floor rap.
Oh really? Oh yeah, he is.
That's not really me. I was young and I was dumb and I did not mean to do that. Nah, it was G-Reg, baby. He was spitting, dog. Like I can't, man. And it was living a life. The problem is that us athletes don't tell the truth of what it was like when we were athletes. We all ain't Tim Tebow. Not all of us is godly. I was about to say the other G word, but all of us, everybody's doing their own thing, man. Like it's cool to be like, whatever, but that shit was hilarious. That shit was crazy. Lion season, before we get into Lion season, because this Lion season is kind of like a continuance a little bit. I sent you another video too, Miles. So we can play this first one. But Lion season right now, shout out to Colorado Buffaloes. We talked a little bit about how they got on my guy CJ. But the Lion City, yeah. The Colorado Buffaloes have, from plenty of sources, they have 2 of the top prospects in the NFL draft coming up. I don't think so. You don't think so, but they do. So it is what it is. My man put, I can't even lie, the offense is going to be scary under Shedeur Sanders. And we have another elite route runner. So but now going and I want us to look at this. We're going to play at full speed first. and then we're going to slow it down because that's what we like to do on this channel. So for those who don't know, during football season, we do a ton of breakdowns. If there's film or stuff that you want to see broken down, share it with me on the timeline. I love watching film. I love talking to you about film from a real perspective. But let's just watch this pitch and catch. And first I want you to do, just pay attention. Pay attention to Shadur and the catch and the throw. Got a little motion action. Throw right there. Contest the catch. Good job. All right, now push pause real quick, Mouse. Can we slow it down a little bit? Because if you're just looking at the throw and the catch, man, great job. Like nothing wrong with that. But let's look now. I want you to don't look at where the ball is thrown. I want you to just look at Shadur. And for those who don't know, Shadur will be the quarterback. That's the video quality. You can just, you can go 0.25 or whatever. Or what did you put it at, 50? Yeah. That's fine. Just look at Shadur. Ball snap. Now look at there's a black flash that comes right by him. I don't know if you guys know. So the guy tweeting this clearly doesn't know anything about football. You know what's exciting about this? The other team. The other team right now, this is basically what Kalen DeLoach did to the quarterback from Clemson. You're going to catch the quarterback in the process of throwing it, balls in the air, fumble, Oski, scoop and score, Shadur's on the ground, hospitalized. And just I don't know. Like again, so I know how you guys are and how you like to tussle. If anybody says anything bad about Shadur, like, bro, like that's called a sack in today's game. Like in yesterday's game, anybody's game, you don't have the edge shored up. So like, I don't know what to tell you guys about that. Like they just treat Shadur like he's the hated child. Like, even though we know that's Deion's favorite son, but like they got to get that fixed up. Hopefully Shadur recognizes the blitz, maybe put the running back on the other side so that you can get a good block. I don't know if the running back ran a route. He wouldn't have been able to pick that up from that side anyway. You can slide your protection that way. Oh yeah, because you got the running back on the bubble. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. But Miles, if you go to your email and go to the last email that I sent you, because I sent you one because I forgot it. I could not find the audio, but Deion was on with Gilly and Wallow. And they were just talking about, like, Deion was like, he knows where he wants his son to go. And it's an email, it's just the next one. And he doesn't want to put, it was funny because he said he's in Colorado, but he doesn't want his son to play in cold weather environments, which I thought was funny. But I got it. I understood what he was saying. Like Colorado, again, so to my people who always say Florida State joining the Big Ten is going to be cold. Well, even Deion says Colorado doesn't get cold until after football season. So I'm putting that out there for y'all. Colorado is where people go to ski, and he's saying it doesn't get cold. But he says he has an idea of where he wants all of his guys to go. He talked about Travis Hunter. He really believes that both of them will go. Travis Hunter and Shadur will go top 5. He says they may go 1 and 2. I think that's kind of crazy as well, but whatever. But here is what RG3 is saying, and I know how everybody loves RG3. I don't think this is a bad by RG3, a bad take per se. Just maybe not those people don't have the juice. But let's listen to what RG3 has to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, the power shift is coming, so everyone needs to buckle up. All these college coaches have been running to the NFL because they're upset that the college players have a little bit more power and a little bit more say. Well, guess what? Those same kids that they're running away from are the ones that are going to be coming up the ranks and coming into the NFL in the next few years. So Deion saying that either Shadur or Travis Hunter are going to pull an Eli doesn't surprise me at all. Look at what's happened this year. Caleb Williams goes to the combine, doesn't do anything except for meetings, doesn't even let the medical teams go out there and look at him because he says they don't need to. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't do his pro day.
So basically what he's saying is it wasn't just a Deion Sanders thing. today, like the player has more power than they've ever had before. And Deion trying to protect his kid, I think he got to let Shadur play a little bit more before they actually do that kind of stuff. But he spoke really good. I mean, Caleb Williams' dad basically is making a lot of people have to make moves in order to be able to get his son in a comfortable place. And what does he mean by Eli Manning? Peyton Manning was drafted before Arch Manning played for the Saints. Very powerful family. People wanted the little brother, and they said basically he stated that I'm not playing in for the Chargers, and they had the number 1 pick, so they made them push everything else. And I'm with Eric and some of you guys. Let's make a bowl game before we get to all of this other shit and whatnot. But yeah, you know, be honest with you, they shouldn't have had the amount of wins they had last year. I mean, Colorado State taking you into double overtime, and they had every opportunity to win. Arizona State should have won that game. Nebraska, if Nebraska had a competent quarterback, and that hurts me to say about Jeff Sims, because like I was watching that at Trey's game, and I thought that was crazy that they couldn't even like move the ball forward with a pass. It was just wild to see. And you know, TCU was wild with that. Going back up, 46 is the ring gauge. Nick, he was asking what kind of cigar ring gauge I like. I'm not one of those guys that like. I don't judge anybody what they like to smoke, but them pats with them big ass long cigars and them thick ass ones like R. Kelly, that made me believe R. Kelly was preparing himself for prison. I ain't got time to have that, and I don't have all day to smoke a cigar like that. I give an hour. That's my relaxation time. 46 ring gauge. 60 if it's like a league of like a pig, because those are shorter. Like those are like 4 inches by 60, but you know, whatever. So very simple says, quick question, James. Do you think that true freshman Amari Williams will become an outside linebacker or stay a defensive end? I know he was ranked as an athlete, but I just watched this tape. He's fast. I think he'll be like MJJ or Patrick Payton in our situation. So he'll be a hybrid. I've talked about this on numerous shows, especially when addressing the lack of depth that we have that Florida State has at the defensive tackle position, and how you can make it a natural 3-4 defense still with a 4-3 look, because where you have depth is at the defensive end spot. And you have 2 defensive ends in Lolo and Durage, who are bigger defensive ends who could give you like a 4-eye or a 5 technique. You've got a bigger line, you've got a big nose in Daryl Jackson or even Farmer that could give you that 0 technique. Or to be honest with you, you could put Jackson at the 0, Farmer at one spot, and then now you have a defensive end that's there. Or you could bump the defensive end down, and now you go get MJJ, who's used to playing a stand-up defensive end, outside linebacker, Pat Payton, who could do the exact same thing. Now you got your Amari Williams, you have your middle linebackers, you can get pretty big in there. There's a lot of things that you could do to be able to see this, but I have to see Amari. I know he's gotten bigger, and a lot of people always continue to talk about how Florida State flipped the defensive end, lost the defensive end after they made him bump up his class to the school they flipped him from. But very few people talk about how you got Amari Williams, who was the number 1 athlete in the nation for the class of 2025, and you made him you made him reclassify. So things are moving in the right direction for Florida State on the recruit side. So I can't see that thing from Angela right there. Now he just says nothing against. I wish he was in touch. Nothing against Travis Hunter. I wish he was in tally, but the young man is still built like a high schooler. That kid at Harvard at Harvard gave him the business. That was You mean Stanford? But yeah, the guy from Stanford did give him the business. Still, Travis Hunter is an amazing athlete. One of the best high school things that I've seen. Shout out to him. And whatnot. So, but that's Deion. More of a continuation, just more ammo for somebody to say that all I do is pick on Deion on my show, which is not true. I just think Shadur would be getting his grill done. Shout out to the University of Miami for doing something that hasn't been done. If you look at Kane's Chiefs first, before we go and look at the numbers, what he quote tweeted, what Big No quote tweeted, and yeah, let's show this out. because this is a big accomplishment. I don't think Florida State is sold out yet. So Miami doing big things for the spring game. Miami sold out, man. That's crazy, man. Congratulations to you. 4 p.m. The game is going to be played, and kudos to y'all. I think that's a good thing, man. I'm proud of y'all. You're gonna have a full state. That's gonna be crazy, dog. You know how crazy it would be if Doak Campbell was sold out for a spring game, man? Like how much fun that would be for recruits to see a sold out spring game. How many people go there? I'm curious, man. Let's see, Miles, if you can go click on what the quote tweet was. Because Cobb Stadium is their soccer field. It's on campus. So Miami hasn't ever had, they very rarely do they have a spring game on campus. So Cobb Stadium serves as the home to the University of Miami's women's soccer and men's and women's track and field programs. It features a state-of-the-art, full-size soccer playing field centered inside an 8-lane, top-of-the-line rubber track. In addition, a first-class 500-seat stadium grandstands at midfield for optimal viewing for fans, parents, and students. You know how loud 500 people get outside? Not very. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to take anything away from the University of Miami. My dog, Big No, literally is a walking viral tweet waiting to happen. This man retweeted that, and what he does is he puts like everything he puts for context. And then it's always something really, really good. People hate it here when he does that shit. My dog is wild when it comes to that, man. And kudos to him. Miami is doing some good things. For the spring, their fan base is happy. They're doing what they do every year. They're winning the offseason. And man, I'm so happy for them and the 500 people who get an opportunity to go see the spring games. Why can't y'all have it? Is anybody doing anything at the at the Seminole Hard Rock Stadium? I don't, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but Till Dog, they might as well play. That would be dope, right? What I really wish Florida State would do, and I know they can't. There's no room in our IPF because they built it to just be that. Somebody needs to do what the Cowboys do. Like, so the Cowboys have their indoor practice facility. The Jags could do it. There's plenty of space in their indoor practice facility. But like, go ahead but the Cowboys indoor practice facility, I think, can seat 30,000. So like, you can they host games there. So like, that would be like really cool, like the actual really cool experience to host your spring game in there. But like, theirs would be like a 7-on-7 if Miami did it, like, because their IPF does. They have 2 fields in the IPF. It's actually bigger than what people give it credit for, but the longest one is only 60 yards, and like, so like the half field is like at 30, so it would be like an arena football game for them. But kudos to them. University of Florida. Let's click on that first one because it has something to do with the University of Florida, if I remember correctly. No, that's not it. We're going to end with that. End with hope for them. Yeah. All right. It's the offseason when the University of Georgia starts having players get in trouble. This means that University of Florida transfer to Georgia, Trevor Etienne, little brother of Travis Etienne, just got pulled over for a non-alcoholic DUI or something like that. That means like you blew under 0.8, but you were still driving recklessly. So all that means is he's going to ball the fuck out this year. So you would think, one, all jokes aside, DUIs are not funny to me. I just lost a young man that I mentored. One of the first kids I mentored is Siobhan, right around Thanksgiving time, to a police officer who was drunk driving. And he hit him while he was parked, which was bullshit. And now that guy lived. It's never the person who deserves to be unalived that happens to. But they've had a player on Georgia already with reckless driving pass, as well as a staff member, as well as a lot of people just seem to continue to get in trouble at the University of Georgia for no apparent reason when it comes to driving. They just don't know how to handle that responsibility. Shit, they may just need some fucking chauffeurs or something at this point in time. But it's amazing that this still goes on, and Kirby's going to do what every football coach in America that wants to win does generally. They're going to like give him a slap on the wrist. He'll be suspended against some sorry ass directional school, if anything. And I think at some point, I don't think his life should be over. I don't want to go that hard, but at some point, we got to be doing a better job of holding players accountable when it comes to doing certain reckless shit. That's big games take on it. Don't really care if you agree with it or not, but that's some University of Florida news. Going into their spring, University of Florida fans are feeling better, but this is not about their pro day. They had a pro day that was about a bunch of nothing. 31 NFL teams are on hand to arguably the weakest UF pro day in history. The best person, Ricky Pearsall, widely considered to be a second-round pick, did no work. The Bengals didn't even come in. Again, my guy Big Noel, who does not miss, shared this. He said this was NFL scouts coming in to check out UF's pro day. It wasn't like FSU's pro day, which I will not talk about right here because I did it didn't even show. We got to show it. My bad. We over here laughing at shit. People like, what the fuck y'all snickering at? Here's what the NFL scouts reaction to pro day.
We've been in there. There ain't nothing going on.
You know what's funny about this? This was January 6th, which these memes write themselves. Still funny that people and his shirt says "Not Today Liberal." His haircut says "Black Barbershop." Because he didn't go. You ain't getting that. You can't get that kind of cut from Supercuts. So like, anyways, that shit's funny. But moving on to Florida, and the New Hope, Graham Mertz is doing this thing. But it's still gonna suck because the SEC announced that they're sticking with their 8-team schedule for 2025. So they were supposed to be moving up to a 9-game schedule, which means more than likely the 2025 series. Florida State has a 2025, 2026 series with Alabama, 2027, 2028 series with Georgia. So those series will more than likely stick unless when FSU makes the change to whatever conference that they go to, that conference implements a 9-game conference schedule. So what does this mean? This means absolutely the worst case scenario for any Florida fan, because that means there is no hope for this year. And more than likely, unless a miracle happens, very little hope for next year. I think we actually have that next one, Miles. The next tweet is the conference schedule for everybody. Is there a way we can we blow one of those up or no? Yeah. Nah, it's all good. We don't have to worry about that. I could see it. I just need you just click on it again. Oh, we can zoom it. All right. I just want us to scroll on down to where Florida's at. Yeah, right there, but to the left. So that means Florida will have Georgia, Mississippi State, which is a win, Tennessee, loss, Texas, loss, Kentucky. Oh, they don't still see it. Kentucky, loss, LSU at Kentucky, at LSU, at Ole Miss, at Texas A&M. The only 2 games that on that stretch that are seemingly winnable would be Mississippi State and Texas A&M, and that's just me not seeing them. Elko is still new at Texas A&M, so I think they have a shot, at least the first year. But I don't think they have a shot at hell at home at College Station. Mississippi State is Mississippi State until proven otherwise. Then on that schedule, they play FAMU, so that'll be a win. They play Florida State at home. You'll play us next year at home. So we whip. No, we play them at home this year. You'll play us at Florida, but we still whipping that ass. And you play Miami at Miami next year. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but you're not going to be able to fire Billy Napier this year. But next year will be Billy Napier's probably last year as the head coach at the University of Florida, because that's fucking difficult to get out of, man. Like, and I'm not coming to take the job at Florida if that's my first fucking year, because I'm not even going to get a chance to get a proof of concept. We're going to get our asses whooped. Like, new offense, new defense, all of that shit. Nah, man, fuck that, man. I'm not coming here to fuck my career up to try to make you good. Like, y'all just need to go ahead and let Billy ride that one more year out. And then after that, when you get the new schedule, start preparing yourself for who you think you're going to be able to get. They all want Lane Kiffin really, really bad. But yeah, that's Florida fans. But there is hope, and I will end this with the hope. I was not a huge DJ Lagway fan. I thought DJ Lagway threw an ugly-ass ball, a strong ball, but that bitch was drunk. Now, this is just pitch and catch, so there's no pressure. You can see he's focusing on his mechanics, but this is a big boy right here. Pause, I guess. But like, good stature, tall, already looks like he's been in the weight room. And just look at how the ball explodes off of his hand. Just a little flicker. Look at the flick of their wrist. Boom. Like, I mean, yeah, it could have been a little bit further down, but like, that's actually really fucking good, man. Like, I ain't got no. I'm a little mad right now. Like, but hopefully, like, they just go ahead and put him in there, and that bitch starts getting bombs over Baghdaded, and like, it fucks him up. There's no hatred, but like, damn, that like, one thing you'll learn about me is, I've never been a hater in my whole life, and I pray the only prayer I have every night is to the ancestors that if I go to bed a hater, please don't let me wake up in the morning. So I keep waking up. So obviously I ain't go to bed a hater, but that's a good ass throw. So we get X out of all of those things. If you want to know about spring ball for Florida State, we're not going to talk about it on this show. We literally have an entire fucking hour and 15 minutes that we did yesterday. We did one on Thursday, I believe. I will talk about it again with Chris with Sporadics. We talked about it with George on Renegade Report. One of the things that Florida State is not missing is people giving coverage of FSU. So we got plenty of that, including me on this channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, tons of Pro Day exclusives that you're not getting from anybody else, candid interviews, all those different things coming up. Now, who has the best athletes? Which state produces the best athletes is a question that is always asked on social media. It's a question that Cam Newton, who I absolutely love his podcast, but man, here's the reason why you have to be careful with just listening to people who have well thought out thought processes, well thought out, and have really good demeanors, really good tone in the way to deliver their stuff. Lawyers lie every day, and they're some of our best speakers. Preachers lie every Sunday. They're some of our best speakers. This is why you got to be careful. Let's listen to what Cam says is the best state to produce athletes and how he is both loud and wrong.
Per capita, the state of Georgia is the most athletic state. California, somebody gonna say California. Somebody gonna say Florida.
So he led with something. It's like if only we had metrics and data to be able to prove what we say. Now, for those who don't know, per capita means, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I just want us to all fully understand what we're arguing. Per capita means the amount of athletes per person. So obviously Georgia has X amount of millions of people, and then they have X amount of players that go Division I for football or different things like that. Now, I don't know about gymnastics. Basketball is such a small number that it really doesn't affect the per capita. But there are two sports that there were 3 sports actually. If we said soccer, it was soccer, basketball, and football, we would be crazy to not say that it's not Florida. There are statistics that the last decade that have used the state, that have shown the state of Florida per capita actually puts out the most Division I football players. The state of Florida, which still would be per capita, has the most active players in the NFL. They currently have the most players in the top 250 in Rivals top 250 come from the state of Florida. But let's go ahead and continue to listen to why because again, he says it, then he says something. I know a lot of y'all gonna say California, blah, blah, blah. And then he states other things to try to back his case. But go ahead,
too, but dog, we're talking about a state that's not that big. Mm-hmm. California, you got so much space. Florida, take IMG out of it. Okay. That's a boarding school. People from other states go to that don't count. I'm talking about born and raised in that state where it's real high school. Mm-hmm. Where you from? Georgia.
So hold on. Let's just keep Cam Newton is saying Georgia is the most talented homegrown state in the United States.
Yes. It's not even close.
So what's wild about his statement? If only we had some kind of scientific details to be able to prove or disprove what it is that he said. If only Rivals in 247 and On3 had a database that ranked players and had where they put the players from. If only we knew that the state of Florida, California, Texas, and Georgia all have similar per capita things, but Florida is the one that actually beat them the most. They even broke it down even more. The state of Florida is so rich in talent that 1 out of every 120 some odd players, which is the amount of eligible seniors every year, and they did this for like 5 years straight, had an FBS offer. That means Division I football. That means the top brand of football, not all football, not Division II, not FCS, not Division III, just the top brand of football. 1 out of every 120 some odd players signed an offer. That's crazy. That is crazy talented. That means that it is a reason why it's not. And the problem with arguments today is that's not saying that Georgia doesn't have really good talent that comes out of it. Georgia has exquisite talent. Now, we're not going to talk about a major shift in what happened to the world in 2005 that moved a lot of talent, because Louisiana is another one of those population dense places that moved a lot of talent to the state of Georgia. Hurricane Katrina, and the year before that, I believe it was Charlie, really displaced a lot of people from the Mississippi, the Louisiana, the Alabama areas and brought them to Georgia and the Carolinas because they wanted to move as far away from that. People lost their entire home. And now, that don't happen here. We don't run from hurricanes around here. Like, hurricanes ain't nothing but a rainstorm. But the main thing, because this is why I love to debate, the main thing that he said, take away IMG because that's a boarding school. That's all we have. Let's just use this year, 2025. Florida had the top, class of 2025 Rivals 250. 34 players, 40 players are from the state of Florida in the 250. So what does that come out to? Like, I'm a science people. Again, I want to use the proper numbers when we're discussing this. So it's 250 divided by 40. I did that wrong. 40 divided by 250. 16%. 16% of the players on the Rivals 250 came from the state of Florida. Now, of that, there are only 6 players from IMG who are in that who are not from the state of Florida. So, let me redo this. 34 divided by 250. So 14% of the players in the Rivals 250 are from the state of Florida, and we're not even counting the guys from IMG. That's called numbers. I wonder how many are from the state of Georgia. Does this guy actually, if you want to play along with it, Miles, it's the that one? No, not that one. That one. Right there. Yep. That one. So you guys can see where I'm getting my numbers from. Shout out to Coach Rob for doing this. It was really good. I appreciate that. Class of 2026. There are 45 players right now in the class of 2026. Excuse me, I apologize. 52 players from the class of 2026 that are currently from the state of Florida. 7 of those guys being from IMG. So that brings us to 45. So we have a higher percentage. Now, what's crazy is, of that, we have 4 schools that are listed on this list with the same amount of players that are from there. Now, we also went in there. IMG has 6 players that are on that list. Miami Central by itself has 6 players in the class of 2025 on that list. Chaminade has 5. He put Mandarin has 4, but we only have 3. We don't have 4. It's a thing. If only we had raw data and numbers to be able to intelligently speak about what it is that we do. Now, I don't hate Cam's opinion because Georgia players are very good. That being said, go ahead and scroll up. So just for those who want to know about the class of 2026, right here, this is what it says. Now, take away the 7 from IMG. That leaves us with 45. I want you guys to read this. Now, you guys in the comments on Twitter, not me, not James Coleman Assertations. This is the Rivals. I don't necessarily like how they rank, but this is an independent ranking source. There is 52. We won't even use 52. We'll take away the IMG guys. 45. 45 is still better than 32. 45 is better than 30. 45 is better than 23. 45 is better than 13. All I'm saying is, bruh, the numbers, when the data doesn't back what you say, what you have to do is change what you're stating. IMG tried to get 2 of our players. Matter of fact, it's a contract. When you sign to play IMG, they have to say that they will no longer recruit your players. Ask me how I know? Because we play IMG week 5. That was the only way we're playing the motherfuckers. Now, he said something else, and I'm not 1,000% sure on this, so I'm curious. What is Georgia's? How many people are in Georgia, the population? All right. So we're gonna go 10.7 million. All right. I thought it would be more, but that's right, because Georgia's only, so Florida has twice as many people in it than Georgia. I thought Georgia was bigger, but then I remember there's only one real city in the state of Georgia. It's Atlanta, and then it's a bunch of other southern towns. No, shout out to Savannah's pretty good. Savannah's a pretty large one, but it's not as like Atlanta is the real population center. It is damn near dead center in the state. Matter of fact, if anybody's ever driven on 75 to Atlanta, it's a little hairy, man. It's a little scary. If you're coming from Tallahassee, you got to take 319 to 17, but you go through all the antebellum South. It's a little terrifying. One of them has a big ass, like right before you get there, I believe it's Forsyth, has a big ass Confederate flag that's like just waving there as you drive through, just to let you know the South shall rise again. Heritage, not hate, but that motherfucking flag damn sure tells you something. Tifton had the Friars. They also had what's my guy? The center. Him and his brother both played at Florida State. Clay Shiver. They had the Shivers too. Clay Shiver actually took me to Tifton to go speak at an FCA event at a church, and I may or may not have gotten a couple good solid handshakes. Like at that place. I tried to tell the guy no. He said, "Nah, who's going no?" At church. They told me this. But again, I love the debate. I love it. I love everybody having faith in their state. I love to see, black men get money. Love to see it, right? What I told you, like it comes to Dr. Dre and still DRE, still ain't tripping. Love to see young blacks get money, take time out the hood, get their mom out the hood, hit my boys off with jobs, no more living large. A sports bettor turned a $2 parlay. And this is when you love these things. Like the parlays, fantasy football, they get you into like watching sports, right? Because you want the impossible to happen. This man won $1,500 and he's stunned after he received an email from FanDuel that his winnings have been garnished by child support. Good for him. We were writing to provide you with a notification from the Louisiana Department of Children and Family Services, Division of Child Support Enforcement regarding you have been withheld from your account pursuant Louisiana Intercept obligations. The compliance review was completed, and we have since unlocked your funds available for use. You had an open child support debt, and we debited $1,578 from your winnings to fulfill your balance. Any other cash winnings prior to the account suspension will be available for withdrawal at your discretion. FanDuel does not have any additional details regarding the matter. Therefore, the appropriate state agency directly for further information. Please also be advised that should you have any wagers win with the payout 300-1, your account will be subject to the same type of review. In any case, please reach out to us and we will investigate for you. Kind regards, Mac. He won $1,580. They took away $1,578.84. Montre he put out, you know what I would have done? One, I wouldn't have done this because I don't believe in deadbeats. But if I was a deadbeat, I definitely would play Lenny Williams, and at the end, actually, I'll tell you what I would have hit first. Like my guy. Then I would have been, I could ride. Oh. That's what he should have done. Take care of your children, man. It's cheaper. Way cheaper, dog. Yeah, Chris hit me up with the population statistics. I don't like, I'll tell y'all the story about my dad one day, what he asked me about child support. So my dad has an open child support case. Why don't you like your dad? Like I didn't talk to my dad for years because I don't fuck with deadbeats. So but they're like, why do you talk to him now? That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's between him and my mama. And I told him this. He got picked up about 2009, maybe 2010. I was at Ponte Vedra. And he called me and said, hey man, can you talk to your mom and ask her to drop the case against me? I don't need to go to jail because of child support. I can't drive it. I said, you want me? I said, nigga, is you crazy? I said this to my father. I said, listen, I'm with you, bro. I don't necessarily want you to go to jail. I'm not finna go. You want me to fix my lips to tell my mama to drop a case against you that of money you owe her for me? And it wasn't even, he don't even really, like he owe good money now, but it was cheap then. Like, it was like, he got hit with the fines and shit. Like, my dad only had to pay like $400 a month back then, which is wild. I think about it, could have covered our rent in our little apartment for years and it could have added up. But like, I'm like, no, I'm not finna, you square that up with her. It's like, you ain't finna get me cussed out for you, bro. Like, I said, I had to live that shit. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're looking for sympathy from me, you need to go look at the dictionary between shit and syphilis. It's in there somewhere. But, you know, again, my father, I forgive him. He wasn't the greatest, but I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. But Sport Mark said USC going to Texas A&M route. I don't know. I'll know more today. People keep asking me. Shout out to my guy Hilton Stubbs, aka I call him Drake. Committed Mandarin safety, committed to the University of Southern California. Shout out to my guy. I don't know why he committed. I mean, I heard about USC. I thought he was going to Florida. I'm just happy he's not going to Florida. Not because I think Florida sucks, but it's because Florida sucks. Like, I want the kid to be successful in life. Like, I don't want him to go somewhere and just lose. That's not fun. I don't know what it's like to play on a team. I don't know what it's like to lose consistently. Like, that doesn't seem like fun to, like, not even have a bowl game to be looking forward to. That seems like some bullshit. IMHO. But shout out to the deadbeats losing money. I love that shit. I would say fuck the NCAA, but we already know that. Kind of talked enough about getting out of the ACC. Again, we've talked about it. We'll probably talk about it more on Chris's show. Georgia and then with sporadic. Obviously, Clemson has joined the suit. The University of North Carolina is looking to join the suit as well. Tons of people are like, the ACC is about to be done. But one thing I want to say is go to the college basketball is broken. Everybody talks about how things stink. But all I keep finding is more reasons to want to watch these things. They're fun. Everybody's bracket got decimated, and I don't even know where I stand right now. I went from number one in the Sports Den leagues and in the Gator Bowl Sports Commission League. I thought I wasn't gonna have to pay nobody $150 to I may be paying somebody $150 fucking dollars. And I don't like it. Well, I'm cutting back up a little bit. Where am I ranked in my group? I'm in 11th place in the Sports Den group. I'm not that far out, but I need a lot of shit to happen. I'm following I know for a fact I'm not winning the national championship. Somebody has UConn, North Carolina. The guys with UConn are probably going to win this. I picked Kentucky to win. And this is what we're about to get into the sports, Mark. I picked Kentucky to win. And Kentucky fucked up my bracket and fucked my son's godfather right now, who ran track and dabbled a little bit in basketball at Kentucky. Kentucky lost to a fucking Uber driver, man. Come on, dog. This man needs a movie made about him. This is better than anything I've ever heard in my life. Let's listen to this. You guys, Jack Groke, or whatever the fuck his name is. But, like, they're going, listen to this shit.
Uber driver just destroyed millions of brackets. So Jack Golke, a 6th-year graduate student at Oakland, was a 0-star recruit. And his journey to beating Kentucky in March Madness needs to be turned into a movie. You see, in 2018, when Golke graduated from Pewaukee High School in Wisconsin, the same school that TJ and JJ Watt attended, there wasn't a single Division I basketball team that wanted him, even though he did score 19 points on Tyler Hero and beat him in the state playoffs. So Jack enrolled at Hillsdale College, a small Division II Christian school in Michigan. Now, during Golke's years at Hillsdale, he was a broke college student like everyone else. And at night, after his basketball games, he would drive an hour to Ann Arbor, Michigan to do Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, whatever he could to make money. Last season, Golke's 5th year in college and his first as a starter, he averaged 14 points per game and shot 40% from 3. Now, this could have been the end of his basketball career. But with 1 year of college eligibility left, he put his name in the transfer portal to see if a Division I school would offer him a scholarship. Oakland University, only a couple hours away, was the only school that called, so we went there. But I can promise you, nobody had any idea this would happen. Coming off the bench in 2024, Golke has been averaging 13 points per game. For the season, he's taken 347 3-pointers compared to only 8 2-pointers. And last night, to beat Kentucky in March Madness, he scored 32 points, taking only 3 dribbles. Will he have another big game against NC State tomorrow? How did a 24-year-old Uber driver just...
I can't believe that. I don't know. Did he beat NC State? No, Oakland is from Ohio. I need to know, did he beat NC State? Because I don't want NC State to do anything great. Hold on. I hope he lit their ass up. Or I don't think they must not have played yet. Virginia, Texas, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is the women's I'm looking at. Damn, North Carolina beat the shit out of Michigan State. Oh, I'm looking at the ACC. Oh, no, I shouldn't. That NC State in the ACC. First round, Saturday. Nah, NC State beat them, so. It took them into overtime, though. But again, this shit's crazy, dog. But it's kind of cool because the SEC, Greg Sankey was talking shit like we're the best basketball conference, too. And they've been getting their ass. They got their asses handed to them in the first two rounds. But that's crazy. But it's an intriguing story. Even NC State guys with all the jokes, right? The big ass defensive tackle that's playing for them is a good story. But the men's game needs stuff like this because the women's game is now not only filled with great stories. Like there's a couple chunky girls out here hooping in the big, and one of the chunky girls, like she goes to the corner, prays to her dad or some shit like that. It's like they're just doing such a better job with having like their stars make a name for themselves. Like Flo J, besides getting her, starting to brawl with South Carolina, Flo J, when they win the game, and you know what she does in the press conference? She drops her single, "It Ain't My Fault." Perfect timing for it. And her and Baby Llama was up there dancing and shit in front of the white girl from Golden Girls that we're about to say. Washington Post, they treating her like she's Rick Pitino now. They got my man been studying for 2 years to drop this stuff. She wouldn't interview him. Now let's talk. I'll let her speak her piece because now I know she did that shit. Whatever they say she did that shit because of this. Play it.
This reporter has been working on a story about me for 2 years. After 2 years of trying to get me to sit with him for an interview, he contacts LSU on Tuesday as we were getting ready for the first round game of this tournament with more than a dozen questions, demanding a response by Thursday, right before we're scheduled to tip off. Are you kidding me? This was a ridiculous deadline that LSU and I could not possibly meet, and the reporter knew it. It was just an attempt to prevent me from commenting and an attempt to distract us from this tournament. It ain't gonna work, buddy. Unfortunately, this is part of a pattern that goes back years. I told this reporter 2 years ago that I didn't appreciate the hit job he wrote on Brian Kelly. And that's why I wasn't going to do an interview with him. After that, the reporter called 2 former college coaches of mine and left multiple messages that he was with me in Baton Rouge to get them to call him back. Trying to trick these coaches into believing that I was working with the Washington Post on a story. When my former coaches spoke to him and found out that I wasn't talking with the reporter, they were just distraught. And they felt completely misled. Former players have told me that the Washington Post has contacted them and offered to let them be anonymous in a story if they'll say negative things about me. The Washington Post has called former disgruntled players to get negative quotes to include in their story. They're ignoring the 40 plus years of positive stories that people or they have heard from people about me. But you see, reporters who give a megaphone to a one-sided, embellished version of things aren't trying to tell the truth. They're trying to sell newspapers and feed the click machine. This is exactly why people don't trust journalists and the media anymore. It's these kinds of sleazy tactics.
I love when they start talking like this.
That people are just tired of. I'm fed up. And I'm not going to let the Washington Post attack
Miles, can you put two things up there at the same time?
This awesome team of young women I have, or me, without a fight.
Actually, you might need to download it and upload it
defamation
on where it says the big game. Oh, no, you can't do both audio.
And I will sue the Washington Post if they publish a false story about me. Not many people are in a position.
Now, you heard what she just said. We can go ahead and pause it right now. And here's the problem with what she said. And I always tell you guys, anytime we get to this, every time we get to the I just sent you an email, Miles. You can post post that picture. It does. You don't have to have both of them up there now. When you start talking a little bit too much, like you got to get worried because whatever she whatever they say she did that shit. She guilty as fuck. Don't go around, because now what happens is, what if they post it and she doesn't sue? Then it's true. And what happens is if you do sue, now they're going to go and they want all the correspondence. They're going to, what you don't realize is all those coaches that you just said that he lied to, he's going to come and get all that information from those coaches to want to know what you said, what they said to you, what was said before, the disgruntled players. Sometimes you just got to ride that shit out and just be like, oh, word, is that right? You got me? It's like what happens is you try to go on the offense by making them play defense when you don't even know what they got on you. Like, I wasn't really interested in the story, but now I want to know what it is. You banging players? Like, you know what? This is what's funny is this comes right after and around the same time where Jason Fatlock was saying that nobody likes Dawn Staley's style of coaching, her goons and shit like that. It's not good basketball. But to speak on that good basketball, have y'all seen what South Carolina is doing right now? Man, y'all better shut the fuck up about Dawn. Let me tell you what they're doing. First round. Now, LSU beat Rice by 10 points, which is solid, right? Tournament. Good job. South Carolina beat Presbyterian 91-39. That's a lot. And in the second round game, now LSU beat the shit out of Middle Tennessee State in the second round. But South Carolina beat the shit out of North Carolina 88-41. And I think it's going to keep getting worse. People going to keep getting the fuck beat out of them. Now, what's Iowa been doing? Iowa beat the hell out of Holy Cross 91-65. I think they play today. It's fun. They play West Virginia today. They should beat the hell out of them. What's funny is Holy Cross. Because speaking of that, that's what Iowa star player Caitlin Clark got caught with. And people were telling her to stop. They're saying she's flopping. The guy says, I can't believe they called this intentional. This wasn't intentional. This looked like it was an accident. And I'm going to let you guys in the den right now. I'll let you guys be the judge of this because I'm not the best basketball analyst, even though I've done it before. But I love boxing. I'm not the best boxing analyst either. But this doesn't look like a flop. This looks like she caught one She caught one like she was at the Christian University of Michigan on the chin.
Whoa.
Holy cross. Yeah, the ministry of laying on hands. They called that an intentional foul. People got mad at the ref for saying that this foul was intentional. Like, nah, maybe if we slow it down, maybe she anticipated it. I wasn't there, so if we get that to a quarter speed, let's see if we see how it looks. Maybe it's not as bad. Maybe she moves like before, like in the movies. Nope, she caught the elbow. Yeah. Yeah, and then she followed through with that shit too. My pad put holy, she went cross Caitlin's shit. Yeah. She got a strong, you know what? When you look at her, because again, let's be honest, somebody's gonna get her pregnant one day. Unless she likes girls, and that's okay too. But she's not a looker. But she does have a face that looks like she could take a strong shot. And this proves it. That she's got a good sturdy chin on her face. So like now I see why she doesn't talk shit. She's gonna get thrown around by the South Carolina goon squad. But what was the old coach from Temple? He used to say that's why he keeps goons on his roster for shit like this. Love it. Sturdy chin. Again, this is so much. It's a blowout. They beat the shit out of Holy Cross. But we're going to talk about this. This is way better than the men's game. People saying that men's basketball is so soft, but look at all this shit we get in the women's game. We got fine bitches that's twerking. We got fat bitches that's doing their thing and hooping. We got Coach Don Staley, and that's enough. You got the Pilgrim Princess right here. I can't always McCulkey, Mulaney. I forgot her. Anyways, the LSU coach. She got a scandal coming on. Like girls getting money. It's amazing. It's dope. The only thing that was disappointing about this women's basketball tournament is that Florida State women lost to Alabama. So like now, all we got to hear again is see, just like your football team wasn't good enough, your girls' basketball team wasn't good enough. Our girls' basketball team didn't go undefeated. Like, we're happy that they're okay, but we know we're not South Carolina. But this is just, again, I really believe Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, that's Magic and Bird. You know, I don't really know how to compare the other girls, but it's just so much more fun. Everybody who says college sports is getting worse because of NIL are a bunch of old mustache Pete's. It's an old Italian phrase for like when they got rid of all the old, when the new blood needed to come in. It's fun. I have a great time. I'm enjoying it. And if you would stop bitching, you would enjoy it too. But I can't wait for more things. Matter of fact, I hope LSU keeps winning so that this Washington Post article gets even more stuff. And here's what I really believe. Nah. Clark and Reese needs to happen before we see South Carolina. We need South Carolina to destroy whomever. I would like to see South Carolina LSU again because of the fight. That's all. But like I want to see, but I do know this: if Caitlin goes up against the South Carolina girls, they finna rough her ass up. Lastly, I'm gonna leave you with this, and we haven't talked about these things in quite some time. But if you watch the show enough, if you follow me enough, I'm telling you guys, stay out the water. And what you don't know is that we've all been marketed to believe things that aren't true. And I'm going to use this example to let you know how strong marketing is. You believe Michael Jordan is the best basketball player because we were marketed to. Never in human history had we had movie producers, corporate executives, all jumped behind a guy who was talented enough to be able to be promoted in the manner in which he was promoted. What do you mean, James? They used movie producers to make Gatorade commercials for Michael Jordan and made us drink the two worst flavors of Gatorade ever, orange and yellow. And they made the catchy theme song and jingle that I haven't heard this commercial since my youth, and I can still remember it. Because sometimes I think that he is me, like Mike, like to be like Mike. And they had a bunch of kids chasing him while he was dribbling in a basketball and going all over the place. I want to be like Mike. So you're going to school and ain't but so many people. He was on WGN. Do you know what WGN is? That's the only station, local news channel that was everywhere, damn near. So in the South, we saw all the Chicago Bulls basketball games. We didn't see anybody else, just Chicago. And it was hot at the time, which helped. Spike Lee, who was hot, like hot at the time, produced a commercial. A movie producer produced a commercial for his shoes. His shoes were also put on the hottest program at the time, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Go read Will Smith's book and where he talks about how they would make sure he got a couple pairs of Jordans so that he can wear it on every show. So there's one of the most watched shows when the guy who's supposed to be the picture of cool is showing us how cool it is to wear these shoes, which the only reason it was cool is because MJ was that guy. MJ had to be that guy. MJ had to be that guy for you to be able to do it, but we were marketed that way. There were other guys before him. But here's why I'm going to tell you, and this is where I'm going to rest my case. Do you also know what happened during that time period? I remember this vividly as a child. It's why I'm so shocked. There was a movie that came out in 1993. I believe it was 1993, or during that run. It was called Free Willy. Free Willy had us believing that just movies. Jaws had us thinking that great whites were the apex predator in the ocean. Free Willy had us believing that that orcas or killer whales got a bad rap. They were just nice creatures that were out there in the oceans, not doing anything bad to anybody. And we kept capturing them. They were an endangered species. They were this, they were that. But now we get the real. Do you know why they're an endangered species? Do you know why they needed to be captured? Because these motherfuckers are terrorists. They fuck with everybody. They have SEALs scared to death. We thought that they placed a little poor white boy that had to go free the damn killer whale, and they had him jump over him or something to go with his homeboys, and now his homeboys asking, how did you get out of jail, homie? Which one of us did you snitch on so that we could do this? But I mean, it's a whole movie. You want to know why we thought killer whales were innocent? Because they put the other MJ out there. Michael Jackson made a fucking song.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
You keep saying that MJ is this and that is because you were marketed to the same way we were marketed to believe the killer whales aren't bad, but they're terrible demons. Go look at what they do to seals, man. These seals are fearing. Seals ain't fucking with nobody but the fish. They hunt seals down. These seals are like, they think that they're safe when they get on the ice. These guys bump into ice. They stop ships. And again, what we were marketed to believe is the greatest hunter, the apex predator, the great white shark. Look what the fuck they do to sharks. Play it. Look at it. There's the great white, minding his business, not bothering nobody. He ain't even hunting, being ferocious right now. All right, keep it on. I want them to know what that fucking shark did.
Sophia's strike was so powerful, it shattered the shark's ribs.
This is the music they should play with killer whales.
Still be dangerous. She circles, testing to see if the shark will bite back. But her aim was perfect. She takes the shark under and suffocates it.
Wow. We do Shark Week. We don't do Killer Whale Week because marketing has us believing that killer whales are soft. They literally eat the liver of sharks and leave the rest of it alone. Like, but again, it's because we were marketed to believe that killer whales are because killer whales are soft. MJ did not do that to his opponents without Scottie Pippen and without anybody else. MJ without Scottie Pippen has absolutely no rings. And Scottie Pippen without MJ has no rings either. But we don't call Scottie Pippen the greatest basketball player to ever play. MJ on the Wizards is the one that most of us in this chat actually do remember. We just remember an old ass dude hooping. We see that every week at the park. There's an old ass motherfucker right now that's gonna put a bunch of points at the park every weekend that could just out hoop you. But I'm just saying, dog, stay out the water. Be careful what you're marketed to. And I don't understand why we fuck with certain things, but I know one thing. I don't want to see them shits all the time. So anyways, appreciate you guys coming out here on the show, hanging out with me. Make sure you please go jam the like button, subscribe if you haven't had the opportunity to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this. You 160 people watching it right now on my Twitter and the 31 that's on Den Media Group. I just need y'all to do that. Keep it the Twitter, keep it open. Just go open up the YouTube too. We need that. We need y'all to do that. Trying to get this thing to 6,000 so we can give away some bread. And on that note, man, love you guys. Appreciate y'all for chopping it up with me. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.